Alright, I'm good.
Hear me?
Negative.
No, I don't hear it. Nim, you good?
Yeah, we're good.
Fucking. What the hell? Make sure all this shit's good to go. Alright, fuck it. Let's just go ahead and start this shit.
Fuck it. Let's go.
I did not do that shit. Gents, I'm just gonna leave it to you guys. Let you guys introduce yourselves.
Well, I'll let Caleb go first since he's got the less amount of time. And still the least amount of time.
Oh.
It's the NFL on EA Sports, and the wait is over for this rivalry game. It's the Miami Dolphins.
Stuff and things. Maybe you want to go next or you want to go next? Which one are you?
You can go next.
Okay, I'm Hop, and I did things in Marine Corps for a little bit of time, and then I didn't do those, and then I just started doing some contracting stuff. There you go.
DES credits to return it. They'll have decent field position to begin with here.
Nemesis Empire,
just beyond that 30-yard line. So the Dolphins
6 years
offense
from
headed
Army,
out for their opening drive.
and I got
They'll be led
into
out by
traveling
a 50-year
for
lefty out of Alabama,
Uncle Sam
Tua
for fun.
You know, Kay, we talk a
And
lot
now
about
I,
quarterbacks in fits.
I creep.
And
I'm a
love
professional
this
creeper.
scheme. Mike McDaniel's scheme
We
for
like to
Tua.
call that cultural
It is peanut
exchange
butter and jelly.
programs,
It's
sir.
why they led
Yeah.
the NFL in passing yards. And most importantly for Tua last year was he was available.
Cultural
That
exchange
ability,
programs.
That availability is so critical. Now, he's just got to find his first playoff win.
It's not always hard to exchange, sir.
All right, let's get this show on the road. It is 1st and 10.
Okay, fine. Yeah, sometimes. Look, it's like weirdos like you that like point out stuff and then like magically it gets to appears and people just
Pick up of a few as he heads out of
are there.
Well, that's a
Yeah. Yeah. So, aside from that, whatever I think about all the nonsense going on in the vet bro community right now.
I'm still trying to play catch up with that.
I got a brief rundown of it today. I think it's something that's a long time coming for sure.
Oh, well, no shit.
But for those who are probably gonna be watching this shit and not familiar with what you're talking about, you just give them a rundown.
Okay. Irish, can you mute your comms for a second, bud?
Yeah.
Oh, you're good, buddy. Yeah, so one of the biggest influencers in the vet sphere, Tim Kennedy, a podcast came out and pretty much was like he may or may not be stolen. Well, they're pretty much calling him out for stolen valor based off of stuff that he said. And that's as far as in the vet community, that's pretty big, because everybody looks up to Tim Kennedy. So yeah, it's kind of the biggest thing right now. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out right now, like as far as like guy graduating top year. He's not on a grad from Ranger School. Sephardic, not. Yeah. So there's just a lot of nonsense right now.
And it's not the only one.
Right.
Like all your big influencers are getting kind of hit.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is like in the vet community is like circling the wagons to protect one of your own. And like at the same time, I just kind of feel like the bigger influences are the guys who are the soft guys or the dudes who are door kickers per se, like quote unquote door kickers. And then we kind of forget about the other guys who are kind of left out of the mix, and that's the guys who, do the beans, bullets, and band-aids, or the dudes who are cooking the meals, or the dudes who are supporting them somewhere, or in Tim Kennedy's case, the admin guys who did not file his Purple Heart when he got strapped on wounds. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's just, this is just like a cautionary tale as far as where the romanticism of combat, like America's just kind of lost in that, and well, it's all something, it's really like I can understand the excitement about doing that, like it's like the mortal coil of all that, right? And then like having to face that, but when people go in and overly embellish it, that's where we had issues, and then
Trying to make themselves seem more interesting than what they are.
Yeah, and then we minimize the other contributions that are involved in that aspect. So, like from the book or whatnot, they're on a convoy. Well, Django trucks are driven by drivers. You have drivers on your trucks when you're trying to protect something, and all that shit's kind of lost in the mix. It's just it's like a one-man show, and I think that's the biggest part that's kind of lost in all of it is it's not necessarily a one-man show. And I think with all the notoriety and everything else that's kind of blowing up right now, that's the big thing, is just remembering that all the little guys, and I don't want to say little guys because everyone's service is equal. And I think it's the biggest portion here is that like your service matters no matter what you did. So don't blow it up.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing that's lost in like today's culture right now. It's like, we all make jokes, whether it's interbranch jokes or MOS job title jokes. Like we've always done that, but like it's always been like heartfelt, right? Like we also should respect, and a lot of us still do respect all the other jobs. But right now there's like you're saying, like there's this romanticism going on with the whole I'm the star of my own show, and this is how they're projecting it to the masses, and they're just eating it up on IG and all this other stuff, and they're pushing all these gear and motivational quotes, and they're just pumping it out, and they're benefiting from it from like an individual standpoint, instead of like, hey yo, I wouldn't be able to do half or any of my missions if it wasn't for like our fucking aviation guys or whatever. Like there's a lot of support that goes in. Also just like the difference, I think I've heard this argument before by a lot of people is soft dudes have a different mission set than we do, or regular side. There's always been this argument like we have to do the same, different, like similar shit with half the gear and half the money and half the resources and half the training to do the same stuff. And those guys are eating it, pushing forward, punching through, and still getting the job done, even without all the excessive help. And they don't, they get clowned on because they're not some big, soft social media influencer.
Yeah, so like to piggyback on what Nimi's saying here, there's a Master Guns. He's at an MSO course, and he's just like, if you hear to be something, to prove that you're a badass, then you're here for the wrong reasons. Like the entire job for that field is to
Oh,
is to support the 11 Bang Bang, the 11 Bravos, or the 0311s. So anybody in the 03 field or the 11 field, that's your entire job. Is your purpose, whether you're an 18 whatever, or an 03 21 or an 03 72 or whatever, if you're some kind of special operations person, your entire purpose is to make life easier on those people. Like, to give them the tools to do their jobs. That's your entire life. And everyone wants to talk about like how, you're not the running joke is that anyone who's not infantry is just a jockstrap. Well, if you're soft, you're still kind of the jockstrap. You're just making life easier for the guys who are going to do these other jobs. Like, you may go get like pinpoint targets, surgical strikes, but these dudes can go clear entire fucking cities. And that's kind of the point. So I think, and that's the keynote here is that, Tim's book is designed for civilian consumption, and it's kind of lost on what actually happens. Like, everybody's job matters.
Yeah, I read that book, and to be honest, it seemed like, yeah, it's a good autobiography, like, for the most part, but like once he starts getting into military shit, it's like, yeah, that's some of the shit feels stretch, especially like
It's
part of me
sensationalized.
okay.
Sensationalized.
Well,
Nimi,
especially the part where like his team, like he was still trying to be like that. Oh, I'm gonna do everything. And like his seniors had him get in the fucking boxing ring, and they had everyone just beat the piss out of him.
I mean,
I forgot what the hell chapter it was.
no. So, like, I don't have any disagreements with that one. Like you may go into a close combatants course within your unit, and you may get that kind of experience. And that may be a humbling experience because you just showed up saying, I'm a badass. I used to be an MMA fighter. What's up? So that may have been a point. I don't know. I wasn't there, so I don't know. The other side of that one is like also from the book here. I mean, yeah, dude, hip firing a fucking SR-25. Who the hell's hip firing an SR-25?
Nobody.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hang on. Who the hell chose to get out of a vehicle with an SR-25 when we have an M9?
Oh, you talking about when they had that like long ass convoy of jingle trucks going to fucking some random ass fob?
And you get jumped, and then you're fighting off an ambush, and you hopped out, and you're like, I've got my SR-25.
I know that. Yeah,
What's up?
Yeah, I know that's right. He was wrong with the fucking Norwegians or some shit.
No, it's like the Czechs. Yeah.
Czechs, Norwegians.
So my issue comes down to is who the hell has their SR-25 or any other weapon system that's a long-range weapon system on standby right next to them?
Nobody.
Fucking.
I mean, maybe you want to be.
I wasn't there for. I can't really say.
Jesus.
What?
Listen, drag bags are an actual thing, but you got to get out of the drag bag. You're not sitting.
Are you talking about you're talking about fucking Rudy Reyes with that shit?
Pappy.
It was Pappy. Yeah, Pappy and Rudy just sniped two guys. Like,
but the point is that you got a drag bag, right? And I don't know what the hell it's called now. It was a drag bag back in the day. I'm old. It is what it is. You got a drag bag. You don't have your weapon system, your long-range weapon system, right there, wherever the hell you're sitting at. Optics get bumped. Optics lose 0. It's just not fucking happening like that. You're not. You're gonna have like your M4.
You have your primary, weapon system always.
You're gonna have your M4. So on that part, like when we talk about that story, that end of the story, that's kind of where I'm like, I don't necessarily think that's the way that would go down, sir. I mean, minus the fact you got 50 pounds grenades with you.
I can't believe it.
I like the walk back he did on that. Like, I
don't know.
He's like, oh, it could have been 20 or bazillion. I just said a number. It doesn't actually 50.
Well, no, I think, Mimi, I think that's where we are, right? Like, what senior NCO is going to come to you and go, hey, fill this bag full of grenades. Just fill it up. We may need them on this run here.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
And then you're going to put all these grenades in one truck. So let's put 50 pounds of explosives in one truck, shall we? Along with everything
I'm pretty
else.
sure that never goes well.
I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I think the part that's pissed me off is that, like I look at it as like grifters. Like, and I think it's, like Tim has done a lot. Like I'm not mad. Tim has done a lot, but Tim has done, in his storytelling, in his book writing, he has done more harm than he has good when it comes to this situation. Like he's done a lot to help vets, and I get that. Like he's built houses for vets. He's gone to North Carolina. He's gone to Syria. He's gone to Afghanistan. He's gone to Ukraine. But how much of that is not for Tim?
Yeah.
Shockingly, I have not heard too much about him. I didn't even know he went to Ukraine.
Yeah. He was one of the, him and a couple other groups. I forgot the name of them. Some of them pushed out, relatively quickly. They got...
as soon as the invasion started?
Well, as soon as the shit was going on with, yeah, pretty much, relatively right after it started. They got with other groups to set up and push in. It's just... What Hoff said is hit it on the nail, the nail on the head is it's not so much he's doing this stuff just to do it and help other people out. It's like checking a box to add to the autobiography. Same thing. Look what happened with the Bagram deal. On that pullout, right? They had a bunch of people try to go over and pull the Terps out, and there's a whole thing where he's like, "Oh, look at us! We're here to pull the interpreters out." And it was mainly just Terps. But it's there's a lot of people that are in that realm. That's what they're doing. It's just there to do the photo op. Same with that I can't remember his name. The major that got on the bird as the last pullout from Bagram, and he made sure somebody was recording him as he slow walked up the ramp. Come on, dude.
Well, he got his 4-star, by the way. Just throwing one out there.
I remember he was up for a 4-star, and one of the senators from Oklahoma was bitching and moaning about it. I was like, dude, because we just did this shit with someone else. I think this guy from Arkansas was holding up a bunch of flag officers' promotions, and that brought a lot of condemnation.
Okay.
And now you got this Oklahoma dude pulling the same shit, and that just one guy's he was the last guy. He wasn't even in charge. He's just there for security and shit.
Okay, so the point is that you don't slow walk for a photo op, though.
Yeah.
You just had a massive failure. You lost 13 guys. That's a massive failure. You're in command of that airspace. You're in command of the airbase, right? That's your battle space. You're in command. You lost 13 dudes. Or 13 personnel. Not necessarily just dudes. But I think that's the biggest thing right now with everyone else in that community is it's just we're rewarding people that fuck up. And for me, that's the way I look at it is this dude got on an airplane Yeah, he slow walked up. He got an awesome. It's an amazing photo op. Like it's a great video. He's got the night vision like lens going on. He steps up onto the ramp. The ramp closes. The airplane takes off.
A
Afghanistan's
motherfucker
behind it,
watched
right?
too much of We Were Soldiers.
But I'm just saying.
He wanted his little We Were Soldiers moment.
Well, no,
So he
like
writing his biography.
so, like paratroopers have this thing. Officers are first on the ground. They're the last ones off, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. I get that. I'm tracking. You fucked up. It may not have been at your level, but there was still a fuck up. Like, dude, like people, my brethren died trying to help people outside the gate. I got another motherfucker who's there taking selfies with 511 gear with another dude with the 511 backpack on. I'm like, let me take a selfie here. Violating OPSEC. Let's just go ahead and be fucking fair here. That's a violation of OPSEC. But here we are. So,
right.
I think that's the part where I'm pissed off at is that, I've got, 13 dudes that are dead, and including one that belongs in Nimi's family. And that and so I'm pissed off by that one. That's not including the wounded. That's just people that were killed just by a catastrophic fuck up that was monetized. Let's be fair here. It was no shit monetized by a person who is essentially monetizing a fictional story about his convoy through Afghanistan to resupply, some random ass camp.
Right.
Not necessarily random ass camp, but here we are. I'm just saying, it's like
one that's like taking constant contact and all that shit.
Well, I mean, he's talking about like fighting dudes in the fucking wire. I mean, honestly, when's the last time somebody fought somebody in the wire of a base? Anybody know?
Outpost, I think.
Well, you have Yeah, so you have outposts, yes. So
I was gonna say
you have
there's
a bunch of
options.
No, you have a bunch of pogues.
I think Bob Las Vegas was one of them too.
What about the pogues at Camp Leatherneck?
Camp what?
Leatherneck.
I'm not familiar with that
Well,
one.
that's
So
the
Camp
point he's pointing out. Nobody knows about that.
So nobody really knows about that. Camp Leatherneck lost 10 guys because local nationals infiltrated the base, killed a bunch of fucking dudes. The Pogues are the ones that fought back the insurgents at that point in time. It wasn't regular.
Wait, was that the fight with the shit was taking place on like the hangars in tarmac?
Yes.
Oh, fuck! I did hear about it.
So my point is that that's a real life. Holy shit! We should tell that story because none of those dudes, as much as you want to talk about it, none of those guys signed up to be in actual combat. They signed up to be on an airfield. And somebody failed. Their friends got messed up. They fought it off.
Right.
So I'm just saying, like, whenever I hear bullshit stories like that, this is what I'm thinking. There's these kids here who did everything that was ever asked of them. Like, everything. And they did what they were supposed to. And I've got old dude over here, like, fictionalizing, like, a convoy to wherever. Like, Op Anaconda is what his destination point is. So,
it can't. There's also that fucking one from what the fuck's this? The Air Force. I think it was Tech Sergeant. That got left on the top of a fucking mountain.
So Chapman. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not happening.
yeah. So like the problem that where we're kind of run into things is that there's a bunch of stories coming out now that these guys have unearthed. They talk to people who know, and it's one of those things like if you do shit in the dark, it comes out, and that's the biggest thing. Like, Nemi, how many SB guys have we dealt with?
SP guys in like online community or in real life?
Oh yeah, like in the online community, how many have we dealt with? Like 2,000?
At least 2,000 in like probably 5-ish year span, three
Yeah,
to
so
5.
yeah, so within
Damn, son.
3 to 5 years, we have dealt with like over 2,000 SV guys, and it's
I should bring you guys over to fucking the Armor Forger unit. I'm chilling in. Fucking we got questionable characters over there.
well, no, honestly, our thing was just like be real, and you get like the most outlanders. Like we had an RTC guy. He was a Marine Corps RTC kid, but he was like, "I'm a first sergeant. Fuck you." But
Oh, he
you're
was claiming to be first sergeant. What the fuck?
but you're a cadet first sergeant, and you get like dudes that claim to be flight surgeons that fly F-16s off aircraft carriers. I might be
I fucking remember that guy.
paraphrasing that one, but again,
It's practically on the point.
but my point is that if you served, be happy with what you do when you serve.
Right.
Like, and we've busted dudes that were in the military that bullshitted their way up to this, and we're like, bro, you didn't do this.
Yeah, I'd say
Like,
honestly, the majority of the actual SV guys were actual military guys, either active or former. They just, I don't know, they felt like they didn't fit in the cool kids club, and so they just wanted to add to it, and it's just like,
That's yeah. That's because when I first came across you, Hop, like I think you reached out to me back when I was first getting like dipping in and finding out what the fuck Battlefield Milsim was, and I don't know I don't think you ever told me who the hell like got you in touch with me, but later me you shooting shit. It's like, well, what'd you do? I was like, fuck shit, I was just a cook, dude. Like, I ain't, you could. You may not be happy at your job. I mean, yeah, my job wasn't. I mean, I wasn't too happy with it at times, but more times than I care to admit. Like, there were times I had fun. More times than I was like, man, fuck this shit.
yeah, but the point is did you go to the recruiting office?
Yeah.
Did you sign on a dotted line?
Yep.
Did you go to boot camp?
Yeah, but I knew what I was getting myself into.
But did you graduate boot camp?
Yes.
Did you go to A school? Or
Yep.
whatever's next for the Navy. Whatever. Right?
Yeah, A school.
Okay. Did you go out on a boat?
Yep.
Okay. So, I don't fault you for what you did in the Navy. I really honestly don't. You served in your capacity. You signed on a dotted line, which is essentially like cashiering your ass to the United States government. You're saying, hey, look, I'm worth this to you. And go from there.
Right.
Okay. So any number of things could happen. And that's the biggest thing I would point out is any number of things could happen. It doesn't matter what the fuck you do. Any number of things could happen. If you're on a boat, the boat could be missiled.
Could be like another McCain or Fitzgerald incident.
It could be missiled. You could sink. Could run aground. Any number of fucking things. You could be in port and somebody drive a Zodiac into the side of it. Any number of things could happen. The point is that at that same time, you signed up to join the Navy. Just like Nemi signed up to join the Army. I signed up to join the Marines. Irish signed up to join the Army Reserves. You all signed up, right?
In Emmy's case, I'm kind of thinking he was drunk when he did it.
No,
Yes.
That's what my recruiter said too. He thought there was something wrong with me.
I mean, you do have a touch of autism.
I think I would point out that my issue with it all is the fact that everybody romanticizes the guys that are kicking in doors, or the guys that are thinking are kicking in doors, and
Well, you got to blame Hollywood for that.
I can blame Hollywood, yes, but I can blame also, like
The individuals themselves
for-
who overglorify this shit.
like they're silent professionals, and there's a reason that's called silent professionals. We don't talk about what we do, right? There's not a single motherfucker is tossing a grenade into a mud hut that's chasing the grenade afterwards.
Nope.
I mean, Nimmy, tell me if I'm wrong.
No,
If
you
I
never
toss-
do that.
If I toss an M67 frag grenade into a mud hut, are you chasing that motherfucker after it goes
no.
off?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
That's the point, is that we have romanticized to the point where people look at things, and I think the entire point of this podcast at this point is the Milsim community. You guys have romanticized dudes that fight. Well, hello, hi. You've got a couple guys who fought. We're not fucking happy with what's going on right now.
Right.
We're not happy. Nobody gets on the podcast and doesn't remember the dudes that died for them. On your worst fucking days, you relive those days. Nobody doesn't remember them. But that happened by the guy who's made millions of dollars off of the back of vets.
Right.
I think that's the part where I'm moderately pissed off, is just the fact that we've been grifted. And then you've got the dudes that circle the wagons around you, and you're like, oh, well, you weren't there, this, that, and the other. Well, dudes, we read the book, and I can tell you that's not SOP.
Right.
Nobody's fragging a building and going in. No one's lost all self-control and just murdering everybody outside.
Well, except for Robert Bales, but we won't talk about that.
Wait. Robert Bales.
Yeah, 2011, 2ID. They were tasked with third group, I think. Yeah, it's third group, and he for a week straight he went out to the village. I don't remember, they were stationed over there. But he put smiley face bullets on the dressers and tables inside all the mud huts of the villagers, and then at the end of the week he went out and murdered everybody in the village.
That
He was a staff sergeant.
Yeah, was that in Afghanistan? Or that was in
Yeah, it was
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Yeah, that's what I remember that.
I want to say it's RC. I'm pretty sure it was RC South.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the shit I'm talking about. Unless you're a fucking psychopath. And the other part about that is if you've ever worked with anybody within a community, you're not dicking down anybody in that community. I'm sorry, for those that know. You're not shooting people randomly or viciously, or however you want to term it, in an AO because other dudes fucking live there. And if you're SF, your entire purpose is to train indigenous fighters to fight the people. Yeah. And you can't train the indigenous fighters if the indigenous fighters are mad at you. So,
especially if you just kill their fucking wife.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the point there, is that, that's the part in the book, Well, we were just any military age male, anybody outside, we're just fucking smoking them. Like, really? Hang on, wait. I mean, how many times did you just shoot dudes standing outside?
Never.
After, even after 90, how many times did you just smoke dudes outside?
Never.
Oh, wow, holy shit! But I got a dude who's the pinnacle of like the military here. Like he's the tippy point of the fucking spear, but he's just smoking fools randomly.
Yeah, we would never do that just because, like, I mean, you understand how tribes work over there.
Yeah.
You know, they have designated people that carry designated guns. Every tribe has their own designated guns. Sometimes they're just carrying them. Sometimes there's a wedding going on. What do they always do at weddings? They fucking dump
They
shots
fire
into
'em
the
off.
air.
Yeah.
They just start shooting. And so you have to just be cognizant, like, hey, is that coming to me? No, okay. I'm good, we're good, everybody's good. And so, yeah, there isn't that factor of, hey, yo, if it's 18 to 45 and it has a dick, let's shoot it. Like, it doesn't work that way.
It honestly doesn't. And so, like, from my perspective, like, from a professional perspective, like, if you did any kind of fighting in any Islamic region, you should be pissed off. And I say that because it's very easy to lose control, but you're a professional and you don't. And there are people who have less training, like significantly less training. Let's just go with standard Army infantry. Sorry, Danny. Let's just go with those guys, right? They're not out committing war crimes, and what you just described in your book and writing is an actual no shit fucking war crime. People are going to jail for that shit. You're smoking dudes just because they're there. That's a war crime. They're not shooting at you. That's a war crime. Unless the ROE's just like, they're guys and they're sitting outside, smoke them. Because I can guarantee there's no fucking ROE in anywhere, in any AO that's just like, if they're military age males, just go ahead and shoot them if they're outside.
No
Cool.
one's gonna okay that kind of ROE because it's gonna fall back and fuck over everyone.
Well, there's a
Yeah.
lot of legalism that goes with that, so.
Well, look what happened to the group that decided to actually do what he's talking about in his book. Look what ended up happening to them. They got hung from bridges in Iraq. And
So there you
go.
What the?
No, I mean, the point is that, like, no actual fucking military organization is going to just randomly shoot people. And as I think, like, for your audience there, Squid, I would just say, like, I understand you guys play the game, and yes, think like, oh, well, we just shoot people, because it's just one side versus the other, right? But it's not necessarily that way. Like, for those of you that do simulate, obviously, kudos to you if you understand it. But the point is that it's not always the way you guys think it is. And the people you idolize to be heroes and you follow, and you're like, oh, well, this is what he would do. That's not necessarily the case.
So you're popping off dudes because they're looking at you funny. He's like, oh, he'll do that. Oh, he's making him out to be a glorified psycho.
Bro, if you pop a dude who does not, honestly, if he didn't shoot you first, like, I can understand, like, an invasion concept, right? Like, if you're on an invasion, if they pop, or if they had a weapon, yes, fine, fuck it, whatever. They're a legitimately military target, right? That's the way it is. Man, woman, child, if they had a weapon, they're a military target. So, the problem comes down to is that we're like, fuck, where are we at? Like 2008, 2009? So we've been in these countries for fucking years at that point.
Which means the
doesn't even-
the
it's not
ROEs are
even-
getting tighter also.
The REs
as
are getting
time goes on.
tighter. I was in Iraq in 08. We couldn't engage targets unless we had positive identification of the target. And we could not engage target unless we could guarantee we would not create collateral damage outside of that target. Which means we didn't have the big guns on the trucks. Which means like we had 249s and that was it. I had saws in turrets.
That's
Not
depressing.
not 240s,
They get her take away your 50.
not Mark 19s, not 50s, nothing. But why is that? But why is that?
50s and Mark 19s risk collateral damage.
Okay, so like 50s. Oh hell, a fucking 240. I will cut through a mud hut with a 240. Everyone thinks like a 240 is just like, oh my god, it's just like one step up. No, I will cut through your fucking house, your neighbor's house, and then there we go. So, yeah. But at the same time, I've got dudes calling in like airstrikes on mud hovels with 500-pound
Ooh.
GPUs. So,
Oh, fuck, thank you for reminding me of that shit. There's a... God damn it. If I can remember it. There's at the... There's a Afghan war biopic where... It was like Marines or Army folks were like... Had like this GoPros and you'd be filming like what they're doing and like... There was a couple times where like... You would call fucking... For an airstrike on this fucking hut that has insurgents in it, Taliban, but the fucking fighters drop it on the wrong fucking hut.
I mean, let's be fair here for a moment. Accidents happen, mistakes happen in combat.
Combat Obscura.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, anyone that thinks like combat is like a perfect thing, they're sorely fucking mistaken. Like, I've seen entire fucking hamlets obliterated because of coalition fighters. But on the same side of that one is that moving on, like we moved past that, right? They got bad intel, whatever. You can't lay that on their souls. They dropped good fucking ordnance on the next one, and that was no shit a bad hamlet. You don't feel bad about the other one, but I mean, you do feel bad about the other one, but you don't feel bad about the next one. I mean, it kind of comes down to it. It's like, it's not a precise thing. Like, war fighting is not a precise thing. As much as people want to think technology and everything else makes war fighting a precise thing, it's not. I mean, Nimmy can say the same damn thing. It's not a precise.
Oh, it's like
not
organized
precise.
chaos.
I got one dude who popped off at me, or one dude and his buddies popped off at me in the middle of a little town. I gotta go find him. Well, what happens then?
Gotta go search door to door or some shit.
I mean, we did door to door too. I mean, the point is that it's not a accurate thing. You've still got to search everybody. You got to go look for weapons. That's the way it is. So, I think, like, for me, like, I think the part where I'm the most pissed off again is just the fact that, like, there were lies. And I won't call them embellishments. I'll just call them flat out fucking lies. They're lies. You can't say, like, I've got valorous wars awards for combat or whatever, and you don't have any. You can't say I got a Purple Heart and you don't have one. And you can't do a podcast rush and not really talk about it other than people are trying to defame you because you may be Secretary of the Army.
I was just about to ask you, have you talk about? I was like, the book's been out for 2 years, and I'm surprised no one's picked up sooner. It's like,
I mean,
why
there's
wait? Why sit there and let it wait
well, it's not
2 years?
necessarily a sit there and wait thing. It's just the fact that these guys did their due diligence. So everybody else, everyone sat back and just like in the bro vet or vet bro sphere, we all just kind of sat back and we watched dudes get rich off of everything else. So like he aligned himself with like Black Rifle, and that's the biggest fucking thing. There is like he aligned himself with Black Rifle, and in the bro vet sphere or vet bro sphere, however you want to fucking call it, they are the pinnacle at that point. You got Evan Haver, he's like SF CIA operator / whatever. Okay, cool. Matt Best, Ranger / CIA operator / whatever. Cool, awesome, great. You guys have enough clout between the two of you to figure out what the fuck's actually going on, and you didn't. Why? I think that's my biggest questions. Like I've met Evan and Matt through an HG fundraiser for Third Group. Actually, no shit. Myself and Gook. His name's not actually Gook, but we'll call him Gook right now. We met them through a fundraiser for Third Group after Third Group guys were killed in Africa. And it was in Southern Pines. And Evan was like talking to Gook, and he was like, "Hey, you got to follow SMEAC. This is where we're at. We're just following like the 5-paragraph order. Just do this, and this, and that's how you have a successful business." Really, that one is that like Evan had new business before Matt, like in his YouTube and everything else, and they kind of blew up because of all that. But what have they done with that? And I think that's my biggest thing is like, what have they done with it? Is veteran suicide's the exact same as it was when they came to where they are now.
Plus, how often do you see them talk to like go to Capitol Hill, start grilling lawmakers, say, "Hey, VA's fucked up. Why aren't we fixing this shit?"
They're not.
I mean, they're not going to. If you
But that-
don't, no,
Yeah, they
if
could.
Black Rifle donates to Democratic things and Republican on the same side, so like not trying to say that. So as a disclaimer, they donate to both sides, but I'm just saying they're not going to go out there and disparage the VA. I think the entire point that I'm trying to say is that if you're a multi-billion-dollar company because of vets buying you because they're feeling like you made a promise to hire 10,000 vets and you did that. That's kind of where I'm at.
Wait, they didn't?
No, they
No.
hired a bunch of people from India and other places for a fraction of the cost.
What the fuck?
They went on national TV, bro. They went on Fox News and said, we're going to hire 10,000 vets. And they didn't hire 10,000 vets. But I'm
fucking vet bros, dude.
Well, no, and that's my thing. Is like I'm supposed to believe them when they say, "Well, I care about veteran suicide." Dudes are committing suicide because they're in the streets. Dudes are committing suicide because they have nowhere else to go. Dudes are committing suicide because they can't reconnect with their guys. Like, and that's the biggest thing in the community is reconnecting with your guys. Honestly, that honestly is like reconnecting, finding a purpose, reconnecting with.
Yeah, that's the number one thing. Honestly, it's just purpose, man. Like, I'm up to like 40 now. Of people I've worked with or close with since basically I came in. that people have committed suicide, and I think like the number one biggest thing, and I fucking struggled with it. A lot of other people struggled with it. Is that the purpose isn't like the number one thing. That's gonna do like purpose and time. If you don't have a purpose, you're going downhill, and then if you have too much time, that's where it all like kind of comes crashing down. And everybody knows this. Anybody that's been through, whether you went through the VA, whatever, anybody's gone through therapy. I went through fucking therapy through VA, the CPT program, and I thought it was a joke at first. But there's some tools I learned that I was like, okay, hey, I can actually use this, and it does help. But there's different things like anybody's been through those programs, they know how or what to an extent causes these issues. And a lot of these vet groups, none of them cover that. None of them want to talk about it. It's just, hey, buy my merch. Buy my merch. That's all that matters. Buy my merch.
Yeah, and like what Nemi's saying is, buy my merch, buy my merch. But bro, we're at 22 brothers a day, or brothers and sisters a day. The number it hasn't gone down. And why is that? Why is that? Is it because we're not buying your t-shirts? Is it because we're not buying your coffees? Is it because we're not buying your cigars? Is it because we're not buying your books? What is it? I need to read a book about how I should fight myself, like Tim Kennedy did after he went to war and killed a bunch of people and tossed in like 50 grenades through a window. Like,
He almost got AIDS too.
No, I'm just saying, like, not being a dick here, but I'm just saying, like, bro, like and I think that's the part that pissed me off the most. It's like Tim Kennedy, his resume stands alone as like the pinnacle fucking apex man, right? I'm an MMA fighter, special forces, ranger, sniper. I mean, I may have failed, but I'm still sniper. But yeah.
Wait, he's not really that big of an MMA. Like, he got, like, Dana White fucking pretty much barred him from UFC.
Well, the point is,
regardless, his track record
he made it to the UFC. Like, he's not in some backyard fucking octagon. He made it to the big stage, right? I'm not gonna take that shit away from him. What I will take away from him is the fact that, like the military guys will look at it and go, "That's bullshit." But the dudes that come behind us, they will not. And when they don't look at it as it's bullshit, and then they sign up, and they join the army, and they go 18X, or they make it into, they make it through, and they're like, oh, well, I can just start smoking these fools over here because they just look fun. Because that's...
They make it through RAS, but they don't get their fucking tabs.
No, bro, they make it all the way through, because Tim Kennedy made it all the way through, right? Not the fact that he was almost peered out while he was in mountain phase in Ranger School. Not the fact that, he made it through Q course, but didn't make it through Sephardic twice. He graduated. Okay, he made it through, whatever. Not the fact that he failed the unknown distance part of, the sniper's course. Which, I don't know how the fuck you do that. Like,
I don't know about that either.
Wait, what? How did he fail?
So he fell out the unknown distance course at sniper school. So like his cop out is like I went and shot 0 for 25 at sniper school, and then they recycled me. So anybody else that's been in the military understands that like there are slots, right? And your unit like gets these slots, and then you go, and it may work different for Army SF, but like on my side of the wheelhouse, it's motherfucker, if you fail that, you're never going to a schoolhouse again. So, and Nimi can tell me differently, but Nimi, is that different for you?
No, it's exactly the same. If you fail, you're fucked. Or it's going to be a really, really long time before you'll be able to go. You'll probably end up having to switch units and then go. That's the only way.
So what I got from it was it's preferential treatment because I'm Tim Kennedy, MMA, SF, Ranger guy, going to sniper school.
I can feel many times, but
That's kind of where I got from that one. Is I'm getting married in like 2 weeks, so I gotta fill out. But did you get married in those 2 weeks, sir? Just asking. Here's a question, sir. And that's kind of where I'm like a little bit dickish at, but and I think the other part of that irony is like everyone that he has like try to back his story up is dead.
no shit.
No, like no shit. Like we're on this convoy run. Well, Mike Goble's dead. Mike Keller's dead. Oh, well, Sergeant Major fucking Hernandez or whatever the fuck his name is dead. Got it, cool. Like all these dudes are fucking dead, and they cannot back up his stories. So you have nobody to back up your story except for you.
Yeah, and all the character references are anecdotal things from people that have met him along the way outside of the military, like not necessarily outside the military, but like from an active, like in the same group. Everybody's been an outsider that has said like, oh, talked about his character. It's nobody that's ever been downrange with him specifically.
Yeah, and that's the other part is like the dudes they reach out to, and they've reached out like, and so for clarification,
a lot.
When I say they, like the Anti-Hero podcast reached out to everybody. So he's not lying when he says they reach out to everybody. They reached out to everybody, but they didn't just reach out to his teammates in the 7th group. Which, by the way, Coking Cowboys, you guys go do your thing, right? Anyways,
what the fuck?
7th group operates in the Caribbean, South America. Coking Cowboys, yeah. Oh,
and that's a Coping Cowboys.
No, Coking Cowboys. That's because the last time when they came back, they
brought Coke on the plane.
Yeah. So we're not saying the DA may have like seized a plane, but they may have seized a couple bags.
I'll be right back.
Just kind of go from there. But I think my point is that you just kind of want legitimately, you just want dudes to fucking tell the fucking truth. And tell the truth about your deployments. Tell the truth about what you did. You did a fucking convoy. You had an ID. Great. Did you get hit? No. But you tell everybody you got mutilated by this ID, but there we are. But you didn't get a Purple Heart. And you do your thing. You toss like 57 grenades into like mud hovels or whatever, leveled buildings. Which I've never seen a Middle Eastern mud hovel leveled by a couple grenades, but
perhaps destructible.
Bro, I just that's the way I kind of fucking feel here. Is like, like I saw like an entire fucking house dropped on by like 2 500-pound bombs, and it was still standing. I'm just like,
Yeah, so...
Well, no, and that's my biggest thing is like, oh my god, let me carry 50 pounds of grenades. You're not an engineer. You're not a combat engineer. You're not.
Sure ain't John Rambo.
It just it doesn't make sense, right? To have to use that many grenades, especially when you have all your other things like 320s, standalone or on the gun. Like you have other options, handheld 60s. I mean, there's way more options to clear out way more than a fucking grenade.
Well, let's be fair here, bro. Like real talk. What op ward is gonna be like, hey, fill this bag full of grenades. We're gonna need them later.
I don't think. I mean, at least on the regular side, you'll never have that. I
don't think on the soft side you're gonna have that.
Like we made speedball kits too, and we utilized them on twice throughout my deployment. And it was purely 240 ammo, and we already pre-made these before we rolled out. They're in those fucking we had the special belt bags for 240s.
Yeah.
That we bought separate with unit funds. But yeah, the pre-laid out. All you do is like rip the one little Velcro thing, and it's already ready to go. So we prep those. We prep fucking however many mags. You know, there's a fuck ton of mags. We put a lot of mags, and then food, like stripped down fucking MREs, like all the like the essential shit.
All the favorite ones.
Well, no, like
Well,
all
no.
your high calorie protein based stuff, because
Yeah.
you know, the reason why we're getting a speedball kit in the first place is because we're going to be out there for a while. Air's red, and we're not going to have help. So that's why you have that, and then and maybe some extra IFACs of like replacements. Other than that, that is it. That's all that's in the bag, and the helicopter comes in, kicks it off, and then they go away.
So not to interrupt on that one, but when he says air is red, that means that you have no air support. Meaning, like, there are storms, there's whatever, you have no air support. Like, you're completely and totally unsupported. Now, like, Iraq 2008, 2009, you couldn't do convoys during that time period. But pre that, you were doing convoys. Sorry, maybe I just wanted to...
No, you're good.
A little trip down memory lane, didn't you?
Well, no, I wanted to explain because not everybody listen to this is a military personnel, and when we say air red, they may not know what that means.
Yeah, I forget to break that stuff down.
So when air is red, it means we just don't have rotary wing support. Like, I don't have Apaches or I don't have Cobras coming to, like, smite people. Because you really want those because they have thermals, but they can't fly if there's a lot of sand in the air. Or SA-7s, or whatever.
Yeah, no, like, you know.
SA-7 is it? Wait, is this? That's not a shoulder launch, is it?
SA-7. Per.
You talking about the Igla or?
It's an SA-7.
Oh.
So an SA-7 is a heat-seeking round. It will trace the exhaust of a helicopter / jet to a certain altitude. So, I think the point that we're trying to make here is that, well, at least I'm trying to make. I don't know what Nanny's trying to make or Irish is trying to make, but you know, for those out there who have served, don't embellish your service. Just be happy with what you did. You drove a truck, awesome. You did supply, awesome. You did something else, awesome. Just be happy with what you did. Don't be a Navy SEAL if you're in the Navy. Don't be, Special Forces in the Army. Don't be some dude who's hook jabbing off the tail ramp of a an MH-47 with a G-36. Don't be that guy. Just don't be that guy. And
It reminds me of so many stories. Oh my god.
I mean, there are so many stories. Like, so in the Milsim community, like, this is what this is targeted to, the Milsim community. We've got dudes that have been like F-16 pilots off aircraft carriers. We got dudes that were hooking and jabbing off the back of MH-47s with G-36s. And I mean, it's just a random bullshit that we've got.
Using your own purchased firearms and suppressors and just, oh my god, it just never ends.
All right, I'm gonna hop off comms real quick for like 37 seconds. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
So Nemesis, what have you been doing since the last time we talked?
When was the last time we talked? Last year, right?
Yeah, fucking last year. You got dark or some shit.
Yeah, I moved. I'm in New Hampshire now. And I'm a professional creeper now.
You're the guy that stands in the woods.
Uh,
You're Yeah, the guy that's the reason for like the story. There's a man in the woods.
Nah, I don't care. I thought.
Fucking look at that pointy chin motherfucker. He fucking tells like, all right, Luigi. He stops at like mid sentence. It's Mama Luigi. Look, I saw that. I saw the post like they found his backpack with Monopoly money. It's like, motherfucker, who the hell are you? Heath Ledger and the Joker?
He tried to plan it all out.
His gun was 3D printed. That's the part I found most hilarious. So, like, because you saw the videos, like his gun, like he fires once round and the gun jams, and he has to fix it and gets a couple more off. It's like, bro, what? Like, fucking bolt action pistol. Okay. I mean, fucking, what was that? That one guy in Japan who handmade a fucking double barrel shotgun
And shot the dude in the
from
neck.
fucking 2x4s. Yeah, he shot Shinzo Abe in the back.
Okay, so let's
Like,
be fair
that's
for a moment.
creativity and shit.
If you're gonna like put out rounds that have messages on them, you're gonna manually eject cartridges. So it's not a well rod or anything like that. He manually ejected those cartridges on purpose.
Wait, so how many rounds did he shoot?
He shot 3. He ejected 6. Well, no, he ejected.
No, he could have had like 3 live rounds.
So he
and, like,
fired.
The other 3 were
He
like
fired
or-
3 and ejected 3 live rounds.
The thing that got me about the video, when you like go clip by clip, he has those 3 words on each casing, correct?
I would say he does, yes.
Okay, because
So
the reason why I said that is because you notice when he looks down, like when he has the first malfunction, like it's a malfunction. I don't think he purposely tried to get it to do that.
But he cleared that shit quick.
Yeah. But you see how like you see the little fumble he did at first?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it jammed. Like he wasn't expecting it to jam.
No. That's why I don't think he like used subsonic ammo or anything like that. Because if you use a suppressor with a Thompson ring or anything like that, and you use subsonic ammo, it doesn't have enough ass, the blowback, the slide to reload.
Yep.
When I saw that fucking video, I was like, seeing his gun, it reminded me of the old, what was it, the old small Soviet pistol?
The Makarov?
Yeah. It, like, that had like an oversized fucking suppressor on it. I was like, you watch this, like, the fuck? I figure, like, that'll be.
Yeah, I think
It
when
just
all
looked
this
unnecessary at first.
I feel like when this is all said and done, I don't think it was a hammer-fired weapon. I think it was a striker-fired weapon. And so I think it's going to be like a Glock or something like that with like a, with a suppressor.
Oh my god.
The wish.com.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go against the Intel guy over here and be like, the fuck ever. So, I mean, this dude watched
You can
ISIS
actually
like obliterate
use
fucking
metal
Iraq, but whatever.
You can. I know you use 3D print. I'm not sure you could use metal 3D printers.
Well, you can
Can you?
do carbon fiber.
Yeah, it'll be like the next strongest thing or some shit.
No, it just wasn't hot for metal detectors, bud. Yeah, it's pretty fucking amazing, actually. I'm actually on the verge of 3D printing Mini right now.
Hey.
You can't make Nemi sex toys.
What?
I know that's what you want to do, and I know you too. Fucking well, you just want to make a fucking fleshlight with his face on it.
Do you mean I can't make a Nemi fleshlight?
Oh my god.
Wow. I bought this 3D print for nothing. Then I'm so disturbed. So disturbed.
All Nemi does now. Nemi's not that one guy that's like turned.
Hang on, sir. Hey, Irish is trying to speak.
He's trying to skeet.
Wow.
I ain't doing no fucking video message. The fuck?
Okay. So, like, back to kind of where we were.
Don't.
I just kind of feel like the community is going to be better served not trying to be something they're not. And then on the other side of that one is I encourage everybody to do research.
It's gonna take a lot of people to call them out on their bullshit. It's like,
well, no, that's what these dudes did, and that's like, you know, fucking hats off to fucking Anti-Hero Podcast for calling them out. It did take an extended period of time, but there have been dudes that have been calling them out for years now. But the other side of that one is they're civilians. And again, kind of where we kind of went wrong at is civilians calling out veterans is, who the fuck do you call this guy out? The fuck you talking about? You're a civilian. You know what the fuck you're talking about.
yeah, a lot of civilians go out for what they fucking read on like Wikipedia.
Well, some do, yeah. But some are more informed than others. And it's just because of their connections. We got it. This is the 21st century. Everyone's networked. So, like, whoever you know, you know, you can't say that, like, that's the extent of what their knowledge is.
Right.
So, I think that's the biggest point, is that, like, I mean, there have been people that have, like, dove into everything else that goes with this entire fucking debacle with Tim Kennedy. You know,
It's not just him either.
well, no, it's not. You got Marcus Luttrell, Rob O'Neill, fucking Dakota
Entirety
Meyer.
of GBRS guys, Mike Glover. I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
I mean, it literally does go on and on. Like, even like I have a massive amount of respect for Sean Ryan, but he went on YouTube and told somebody that he legit set up like drug running operations for the CIA.
Mark Ryan.
Sean Ryan.
Oh, Sean Ryan.
Like, he legit went on like some podcast and was like, "Oh my god, the reason I got into what I'm doing now is because I went down to South America and set up a really successful drug running operation, and I just wasn't happy with running drugs into America." But you set up a drug running operation.
Fucking.
And that's exactly kind of where it is. This is the three-letter boys. So.
DEA, ATF. Fucking.
Oh no.
Everyone wants the fucking next John Rambo or fucking.
Well, I don't disagree with
what's that? Whatever the fuck Bruce Willis's character from Die Hard is.
John McCain.
Yeah.
John McCain.
McCain.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that aspect. I feel like I feel like that's kind of where we are right now. Is America wants heroes, right? But how far are we to creating those heroes for America?
I do too. Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. It's like,
I think if it's
my God,
organic, it's okay, right? Like,
Well-
if you don't embellish and your story is organic and there's nothing inherently wrong, right? I think it's okay. But the problem is, you
It's like,
see the new trend, are making money hand over fist to embellish their records, and so they just keep going, adding more and more and sensationalizing it more and more, so that they have people constantly following them. It's just a never-ending machine. It's all to get money.
Yeah. And so, like Nimi said, so I mean, there's multiple people like Mike Glover. I mean, he's had his own share of fucking issues at this point. So I'm not gonna.
Mike Glover.
So Mike Glover's like he got out of special
Well, you
forces.
guys are saying names I'm not even recognizing.
So
like,
he got out of special
what was
forces.
it? Nev said GBRS
and then-
guys.
And he wanted to like teach dudes how to like sustain themselves. Like he just wanted to be like, oh my god, this is how you do this. And then he's like said a couple things that were like not necessarily kosher, but you kind of blew it off to an extent. I say blew it off, but just kind of let it slide to an extent. And then like he had some charges filed against him for domestic violence. And I'm not exactly opposed to that. Like things happen. If you know my history, you know my history. That is kind of bad.
That's gonna be another fucking episode.
Hey, disclaimer: Hop did not smack anybody around, but Hop knows crazy bitches. So let's go from that one, okay? It's just a bunch of shit. It literally is. It's these dudes. So there's a grift, right? And that really is the biggest thing. Is like the grift. Like you get these tier 2 operators that come out, and there's like, oh my god, let me teach you how to fucking live off the land using my seer school.
Can you explain real quick? Like who are your tier 2s? Who are your tier 1s?
So like tier 1 is going to be like OD and like SEAL Team 6, right?
Right.
Okay. So your like tier 2s are going to be like SF, MARSOC. I almost, as a Marine, I would almost be like MARSOC's like tier-ish. So, I mean, we're to the point now where like the Marines are like, do we need MARSOC anymore?
Didn't they just bring back the Marine Raiders?
Listen, you're talking to me, but I'm telling you, like the Marines are like, fuck these dudes. We want more high Mars. Fuck those guys. Yeah.
They want the black funding.
Well, no, it's not black funding from SOCOM. It's just the fact that like the Marine Corps has decided to, fund this like littoral regiment, and they're like, well, these Raider guys don't really fit in, and none of them are Asian, so they don't really fight China well. Like they're supposed to be special forces, but they don't fight China. So like a black guy in China is not going to really fit in, or a white guy in China. But a yellow guy in China, he might fit in. So there you go.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, realistically, if we're talking like next level shit, near peer adversaries, Russia's not it, despite the fact that the only country that ever launched a MIRV to another city. Yeah, we all know what we're gearing up for. We're gonna fight China. You can talk about like intellectual property, theft, whatever. We're gonna fight China. We're gonna fight. Oh God, Jesus Christ! The Intel guy.
It's gonna be never ending with you.
Okay, Intel guy, tell me why you disagree with my assessment. If you say profit, I'm gonna fight you. They're a communist country. Okay, so be fair here. Okay, so what would they use against the United States?
Quick thing, because I was just listening to the stream on my phone. Caleb, make sure your audio is included, because I only hear you talking at all.
Go in and select include audio.
Yeah, just go to the Xbox app party, and it should say include audio.
So not to like interdict on my Intel guru, who's amazing and he knows everything because he's got like, a sphere of knowledge in front of him. But I don't know, Caleb.
Should.
I'm sorry, Irish, you're the intel guy, buddy. Intel that shit out. I'm sorry, Irish, you're the intel guy, buddy. Intel that shit out. Then hop back in.
Hop on the Xbox.
Okay.
Yay.
I kind of think like where I point is like Russia's. Everyone's considered Russia near peer adversary, but we're not because now. Do I think like the war in Ukraine would have been different if we didn't give them javelins? Yes, because Cold War philosophy would have like ruled the day at that point.
Okay.
I mean, Nimi, do you disagree?
What, the China thing, or are you talking about the?
Talking about
Some of
Ukraine and us like giving them javelins.
Oh, if we didn't give them supplies, they would have been fucked. They would have been wiped already. Rip.
Rip.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, no, they would have been. Honestly, I think they would have been wiped if they didn't have what they had. Because Russia, just what they did in World War II, that's what they're doing now. They believe in
Fucking
numbers.
meat grinder
Just throw
operations.
numbers at it, and eventually, if they can keep it up, they can do it. And a little cool thing that should be noticed is with Syria toppled, and there's a large migration of fresh bodies going to Russia that all have immunity to go there. Guess where they might be going, man?
Well,
To the
what about the
grinder.
naval? What about the naval base there they had with the submarines and all that stuff, with the cruise missiles and all that?
Yeah, I have no
That
idea.
that shit already took off. Like they had them leave port already.
Yeah,
But there was still ground troops still at Tartus.
but where do we think they're
when the
going?
fucking-
No one. Okay, so let's be fair here for a moment here. Okay, so those guys are going. They're in transit, right?
Right.
Okay, so what do you think these cruise missile carrying submarines are doing?
Probably either hanging around the Bosphorus Strait or trying to swing.
I
on
mean,
by
if
through,
if Turkey lets
north.
them in, then they're going back into the Black Sea, and then we're just kind of going from there. But I don't think that they're going to go to the Black Sea. I think they're going to sit off. So,
Right.
or they may transit to the North Sea, and fire off. But that's a long fucking range. So,
Well, they don't have much options.
no, I think the point is that just because Syria fell doesn't mean necessarily that Russia's influence there is gone.
No. 'Cause even if they do try to, motherfuckers gonna still raise. I was like, well, these people are helping Assad bomb us and fucking supplying them with chemical weapons or some shit. They're gonna.
Well,
Every fucking argument
Israel bombed the chemical weapons facilities, so they're just not going to have Syria have access to those, and they couldn't bomb it because there was no restrictions. Like there was where they could bomb, there were restrictions in place, and then these restrictions were lifted. So if you don't have U.S. personnel in place, like the Sicily, the Turkey or whatever, then that's where it's at. Use the next best thing, and that's going to be Israel. But yeah. Oh, holy shit! There's Irish. Hi, Irish.
In
All
my
right.
audio.
Are you able to include the audio this time?
Yeah, I'm on my. I just moved my headset over.
Hey, Irish. So tell me why China's not the next big threat, because
China is a big threat, but what they're gonna do is they're gonna use their economy as a weapon. We don't do what they want. They're gonna cut off trade. trade barriers. At the end of the
Really?
day, they only have a 5 to 7 year period of where they were able to actively be able to do bad operations going
Yeah.
overseas, based upon my research.
So
I've never
how?
worked with China, so I don't know any of the high level shit,
So
which is kind of nice, so I can talk about it educatedly. Out
so how long
revealing
do we
secrets.
have to develop munitions using rare earth elements without China's help?
Probably a year.
Wow. Well,
But
that's
at the
just
same
good.
time, China still needs to sell us. China needs to sell us our fucking iPhones and our stupid shit.
Well, I mean,
They're
I'm
not
just kind
gonna.
of pointing out at this point is that like they've blocked selling us rare earth elements that are needed for certain chipsets. So
Yeah.
yeah,
We're also starting to mine certain chipsets or certain rare earth minerals to be able to produce chipsets.
yeah.
There's a
But
microchip factory getting produced just down the road from me.
when's it gonna be built?
Next few years. Could be done in the next year or two.
Like next year, next two, next three.
For the most part, just probably just saying like next in a couple of years.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I mean, my point being is that point is like smart munitions or whatnot. You have to have those rare earth elements to do the chips for guidance.
Yeah.
And if you don't have them, what happens?
You can't produce as many munitions. You have to go back to dumb bombs.
Oh, dumb bombs. What happens with dumb bombs?
You have to have a pilot over there.
Hmm. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, despite the fact they have like 4 aircraft carrier, maybe 3, maybe 4, I don't know. They have this weird ass amphib that has like 3 conning towers on it or whatever. Um, yeah.
China's not
I
going to
think
risk their economy, though, at the end of the day.
I think that
And they're going to have a population crisis.
their economy is completely and totally insulated because they're selling weapons elsewhere. Like just because they're like selling stuff to us doesn't necessarily mean they're not.
But if they
You
start
know,
a war with the United States, they lose Europe. They
do they?
lose. Yeah,
Are you sure?
100%. What aspect would they get?
What aspect would it not get? Europe doesn't do anything for NATO at that point. And Europe can opt out because it's the Pacific, not the Atlantic.
Yeah, but Britain's not. Britain's gonna stay in. Britain's gonna fight.
Oh my God,
Australia.
I'm super excited for the Brits.
Yeah,
Love those guys.
but
Love those guys. And the
the Polish
Australians.
are itching for a fight. I mean, it's a
Yeah, the
country with no
Polish,
navy, but
like to be fair here, like it, to be, to be real. Ukraine's not going to fall. They're gonna they're gonna negotiate an armistice. Ukraine's not going to fall. Zelensky's going to go away because it's going to be part of the armistice, and some other dude's going to take his place. And then NATO is going to be like, oh my God, let's invite the new formerly, Ukraine into NATO, and Russia's going to be pissed off at that point too. So Russia influences China to an extent, not necessarily monetarily, but they still influence them to an extent. Largest nuclear power in the world, still influenced. So,
yeah, but Russia doesn't. I mean, like John McCain said, it's Russia's a gas station with nukes. Plus,
yeah.
Pretty much.
China's. They may say that they love each other, but during the Cold War, China and Russia didn't get along that great.
Okay.
They had a border war, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
They
to be fair
also.
here, like historically, what country is the only country to launch a MIRV onto another country?
Russia.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay.
We talking about Merv.
So it's a multiple integrated reentry vehicle.
Shoots a lot of little
Oh
booms.
yeah.
So
You're
you,
done with the fucking medium range ICBM.
Yeah.
so that was a test ICBM, yes, but that's still a pretty big fucking deal, bro. Like, they're the only country ever to launch a MIRV on another country. Like, I say MIRV, but like when I say MIRV, it's multiple. It's MIRVs. But yeah. And despite the fact they were conventional, that was kind of the point, is the next ones may not be conventional. And it's the showcase, well, here's the point. The next ones may not be conventional. They may be nuclear. Who knows?
Russia is not stupid enough or desperate
Mm,
enough to launch a nuclear weapon.
bro, Putin is
Because
so cornered right now.
he is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we've cornered him so much. There's not even access for dialogue. Short of, like, giving him Crimea and saying, oh my God, Ukraine's not going to be a part of NATO. There's no corner for dialogue.
But
Right.
if he were to use a nuclear weapon, it's suicide.
Okay. Let's be fair here. You're the ruler of a country. You're the guy. You're the guy in charge. Your country may fall because you made some poor decisions. You decided to invade another country. Some other people decide to help that country. They're pushing back. You're on your way. They're on their way to Moscow. Whatever, right? What do you think happens next?
Yeah, if NATO invaded Russia, yes, they would
Bro,
probably use nuclear weapons.
we have lobbed rockets into Russia.
The U.S. has not. NATO has not lobbed one. Ukraine has.
Okay.
They
So,
have
this is where Irish and I disagree. So we gave Ukraine these attack missiles, and they lobbed them into Russia.
Yes.
Now, if they didn't have these attack missiles, they couldn't lob anything into Russia. Correct?
They were flying Cessna drones with fucking explosives on them into Russia
I'm sorry.
beforehand.
You're deferring my question, sir. Did they? If I didn't give them these attack missiles on these HIMARS, could they lob shit into Russia?
Yes, because other countries were also giving them equipment.
Other what countries?
The British missile.
If you talk about the Storm Shadow, I'm gonna
Yes.
fight you. So why was the Storm Shadow used?
Yeah,
It probably wasn't
Name it.
good.
Why was the
That-
Storm Shadow used?
When? Why?
Why was the Storm Shadow used?
I didn't know that it was.
It was, but what was the timing of the Storm Shadow being used? Irish?
No idea.
They've been using those all war.
No.
Mostly on Crimea.
So what was the usage of the Storm Shadow long range? XL.
I think they went after air defense systems.
The reason was because they were waiting for the U.S. to authorize them to use the attack miss.
Yeah.
And then that's why the XL was used. Which is
But
why
at the
you're
end of the
hinting-
day, it's a weapon system launched by one country into another. It'd be the same thing if Iraq were to use Russian missile systems to attack us, or Syria were to use Russian S-300s. That's not an attack by Russia. That's a attack by that country.
So what happens if we so let's per se, for historical reference here, that these happened, and then we go from there. What do you think happens to Russia if they launched an attack on us with their, Q400 or Q300 or whatever else?
We're gonna take out the weapon systems. We're not gonna.
But we will
take out the
still
actual country.
we're not taking out the country, but we will What?
Economic sanctions, perhaps. But that's about it.
Oh, economic sanctions, right? Okay, cool. So Russia is cornered right now because NATO is doing what they do. We're lobbing. I'm sorry, we're. Ukraine's lobbing rockets into Russia proper. We're giving them NATO supplied weapons, i.e., F 16s, whatever else. Even though Poland had MiGs, they could have given them. We could have backfilled them because Poland's a NATO country. But
Poland
gave them-
definitely did not break apart MiG-21s and send them.
I said MiG 29s.
29s. Yeah, MiG.
I'm just saying, like, Poland had MiG 29s.
Yeah.
Yeah. My point is that we're arming a non-NATO country with NATO weapons. Which goes against everything that we know because...
We've given Patriot missile systems to Saudi Arabia. And we sold
we?
Because we want their oil.
Oh my God. Thank you, Irish. You're amazing. I love you.
Take your
There's no other reason to help Saudi Arabia besides economic.
No, it's a complete and totally an economic thing. And it's the same thing with Ukraine. It's an economic thing. What's the biggest investor in Ukraine right now?
Probably the United States.
Damien, you have any idea?
Biggest investor in Ukraine?
Yeah. Like post... So let's go reconstruction. What's the biggest investor?
I mean, we have
BlackRock.
been.
It's half
We have
you.
been. No, no way.
It's half you, bro.
You know, Africa.
You said half EU?
No, it's
half of me.
Half him.
Oh no. Well, we gotta sacrifice Nebby to the cult.
I don't sacrifice Damien to anybody. I'll fight for him to the death.
Fuck,
He
you
is
be-
my-
You be, go,
he's
you be
my-
going in a battle like dressed up like some character from Monty Python, yelling "neat."
I will. Absolutely. Yes.
Fucking wear some damn
It's just a scratch.
deer or elk or
It's just a
moose.
scratch.
No, like the guys that stand in like the forest, they're always wearing like those little deer skulls with antlers on them.
My point is that BlackRock is the biggest investor into Ukraine right now.
It's not a shock.
No, it shouldn't be a shock.
Did they just buy fucking Whataburger?
I mean, they're in
So-
everything, so
They buy everything, so yeah.
Doesn't
They
really matter.
I think they just bought Jersey Mike's, but yes.
Oh no, yeah, that's the one. It's Jersey Mike's, not Whataburger.
Yeah.
Dude, if,
No,
if they change Mike's way, I'm gonna be sad.
I'll be pissed if they change to fucking Philly. I love that shit.
you would.
But I'll be honest, fuck you. I actually just got into Jimmy John's.
I mean, the fact that you got into Jim John's makes me judge you like immensely.
Fucking the number 9 Italian nightclub. This shit,
Dude, that shit is good.
Sam,
Fuck.
it is.
I'm gonna fight you and Irish. Irish, I'm flying out to you tomorrow from Atlanta. Come pick me up at the airport so I can kill you in the desert. Thank you.
He's like,
I'll be
we're
in
gonna
Atlanta
fight.
next.
And he calls. He's like, you're gonna fight. Like 5 minutes later, he calls you again. He's like, you come pick me up from the airport so I can fight you.
I mean, hey, look, dueling is a thing. I think that's what's wrong with
You
America.
can't
is,
duel
like,
anyone nowadays.
I'll
I
bring a
think
Nerf
that's
gun. We can.
That's
we can
legit what's
duel
wrong with
Nerf
America
guns.
right now is that you can't duel motherfuckers. You just can't do it. I think
Do you know how-
America's problems are solved if you duel motherfuckers.
Do you know how much better Milsim would have been if you had been able to punch a few people?
Yeah, people
We're
didn't
not
stop
going to talk
raiding.
about that because, like, okay, so since
There-
Irish brought it up,
Who's the one? Hold on. Who was the one that came up with the idea of like having a Milsim convention with a boxing ring in the middle of it?
I don't know. It might have been Lurch. I don't know. I don't think it was Lurch. It might have been somebody
He
else.
got in on that idea. It's like, fuck, I'll meet y'all in the boxing ring. Fuck it.
Okay, so for everyone listening here, like Hop is a character. Hop doesn't like want to murder everybody, but Hop has connotations where he would
Thoughtless.
just Hop has connotations where he would just love to like obliterate people with his knuckles.
Bro,
So I don't want to murder people. I just want to obliterate you physically, mentally.
one FR chase.
Okay, fine. Fucking Chase. If you're listening, buddy, like I
Crow.
get it. I'll send you a picture of my t-shirt. We'll call it a day. You can say like, "Oh my god, I almost went to there from like SOI," and we'll just kind of go from there, okay? So there we go.
I actually, I actually talked to one of the old members. I'm not sure if you remember USMC 1FR Rhino.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if fucking Irish remembers that name either, but
No.
he popped up because I was playing fucking Armor Forger, and I get this random dude come up. It's like, "Hey, are you Salty Squid from like runs M&S?" Like, yeah. Are you the same one that in the Battlefield Milsim like a while back? It's like, yeah. Do you remember 1FR? It's like, fuck, who does? Who the fuck does it? And he started talking like, he was with Chase, and I was like, oh fuck. Apparently, Chase is still trying to go back in the Marines, which
Yeah, I
makes
heard
me
he's
go,
trying to be a lawyer.
fuck what, Jag? Fuck that.
He's trying to be Jag, yeah.
That
Regardless,
explains
like
actually
I
a
don't.
lot.
It does. I don't care. It is what it is. Like I just don't care. My point
So
is that
long ago.
like it legitimately is. My point is that like I've fostered so many relationships that are positive, and I do have a bunch of fucking negative relationships. I think the reality of it is that, you know, as a whole, Milsim should be just to foster relationships, not to be negative or anything else. It just should be positive. Like you guys, like yeah, you got your ass beat. Do better. Like figure out what you're doing wrong and do better. Figure it out.
See, that's the problem. Like a lot of these new units, there is still a couple Battlefield Milsim communities that they do. I think there's a small one for BF1. You still got NetHub. Then you got the other one, for, I think MHQ for BF4 units. They don't do shit. I mean, nobody said like JTOs and shit, but like when it comes to like people starting beef, instead of actually going out and duking it out with those motherfuckers, like go fucking duke it out, beat your brains out, go nuts. They would actually go to back channel, like they would randomly play poll centers, like we want this guy to be in his team be blacklisted. It's like,
Well, I mean, as a
okay, then
guy,
that just defeats the fucking purpose
well,
of
no.
be
I,
doing
I
most shit.
I played the Pole Sim game too. Like,
Oh,
and
we all did.
yeah,
Yeah.
I played the Pole Sim game. So I'm just saying, like, you know, if you're a Milsim, play it honorably. You're trying to like. I'm not saying we're so. I mean, you can calm me down on this one, okay? I'm not saying everybody in the military is honorable, okay? So don't fucking come at me on that one. But I'm just saying, like, play the game honorably. Like, play the game like the higher sense of ethics that you think that we have. Play that game. But on the other side of that one is remember the dudes that are not dudes you're playing. So like, if you're sitting there and you're like dogging dudes down, remember you're not in their shoes. And if you've never served in the military, uh, well, you have an opinion. So, and voice your opinion. Share your opinion. Like, share your opinion. Um, just because I went overseas and did certain things and did this, that, and the other, doesn't mean my opinion, well, doesn't mean my opinion is more valuable than yours. My opinion is just more educated, I think would be the better response on that one. And so, if you have an opinion, share it. Um, yeah, I think that's my biggest thing is just, if you're in a community, honor your guys, they're real. The same kind, like honor the guys that are not the dudes that are on the front line. So don't play Tim Kennedy like, oh my god, I'm fragging every room I'm walking by. Because it's not the way we do that. Like real talk, that's not the way that happened.
Actually, I gotta look up the episode you're talking about.
Like we're legit not fragging every
Sorry, my
fucking room we see. And hang on,
Yeah,
Jimmy,
I've been watching that game.
how many
It
times have
sounds-
you
fragging every episode? It sounds, or fragging every room. Just that clearly sounds like some video game shit.
No, I'm just saying, like, we're not fragging every room. Like, legit. You're not going to frag a room and then run into it. It's just not going to fucking happen. You may flashbang it, you may run into it after that, but you're not going to, like, frag a room. But on the other
Right.
side, like, Nemi, how many times have we had to fight this bullshit? Like, oh, we're going to frag it. Oh, let me pull out my combat shotgun, because this is my fucking, like, master key.
The cool thing, we never had to use shotguns. But we would have already opened everything up before we even got there to even have to do it, like with 320s. Like I was saying before, we would have just lit in if we know that there's no other people there. We'll just light into that bitch with fucking 320s and handheld 60s, level that shit out, and then we'll push through. It mitigates a lot of issues for us. And it makes it a lot easier to push in, so we don't have to sit there and do the whole throw 50 fucking frag grenades.
How much would
Yeah.
50 frag grenades weigh?
Too much.
50 pounds.
They're really a pound each?
Yeah.
I haven't thrown one
I
since
don't
basic
fucking
training.
remember, man.
I think it's like
Wait,
legit, like a
the
pound and a
Octo's like-
half at each.
Fuck. Aren't they
I
making
think
like new hand grenades that you like stack on top of each
That
other,
was the
or is
Marine Corps. They wanted new
Oh.
They needed new Legos.
Listen, we like Legos, and that's retarded.
You wanted to
But-
stack grenades on top of each other like they're fucking markers from elementary school.
Bro, you talk to me
Yes.
like I wanted stackable fucking grenades. I didn't want that shit. What do you think's
I
gonna
would.
happen with stackable grenades?
You-
You're gonna get 12 of them, and you're gonna combine them together and have.
Okay, what happens when dudes get bored? Let's be fair here.
God.
What happens?
I mean, we've
They-
seen videos of like dudes like flashbang
No.
guy on
Wait,
the fucking
hang on.
shitter.
They're gonna
Okay,
fucking
hang on.
joust with hand grenades.
We got a
Alright, Before we get to
legit-
I gotta get off.
Yeah.
Alright, gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta go to bed, man.
Fuck you in bed. You just make maple syrup.
I gotta drive like 2 hours in the morning. Alright,
Well, Nico, have a good night.
gotta go creep.
Go
Go
creeping.
camping by.
You got my number, man.
Stop.
So
Yeah, I gotta put some powder down because I know you're the paralysis demon that just stands in the corner smoking a cig.
Wow.
yeah,
He tries to do a little thumb trick, makes it look like he's pulling his thumb off or some shit.
No.
just don't end up on the DHS list, and you'll be all right, man.
Fucking I locked my doors. I don't know how he's getting in.
Yeah. All right. I'll catch you guys later. Hop, you got my number from you can hold me.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Later,
You
man.
just want him to send you dirty pics.
Indeed.
We
That's
all
the
do.
best. What are you talking about?
How long have we been streaming?
2 hours.
Damn. Are you
So-
the one person that's watching this stream?
I am actually. I'm watching in time. So I think
Brewer
that,
popped in a little bit ago.
yeah, I think the point I would say at this point is that be yourself. Don't try to be a badass. Don't try to be some dude who's like fighting an entire Afghan village, or an Iraqi village. Just be yourself. And on the same chord, if you're not over there and you have an opinion, share your opinion, but share your opinion understanding that, like, your opinion is just the fact that you're on the outside looking.
It's just that their opinion fucking, or I may have just read that.
And for those that think I still hate Fat, again, Hop is a character for this intents and purposes. Hop is a character. Hop doesn't hate anybody. I don't really give a damn about Faticus. I don't care about his little people. I really honestly just don't care.
Wait, is he still around?
I have
He
no idea.
is. He's in 8ID.
I honestly just don't care because it's not worth my time, or effort, or anything else. However, should you choose to be worth my time or effort, let me know. And I'm in Hotlanta, so we can make that happen. And then we'll put that shit on pay-per-view for everybody else.
On a completely separate note, how the fuck is BF4 Milsim still around? It's been, what, 10 years?
It has been
12
10
years?
years. But everyone's hoping for BF7 or whatever the next one is.
2048?
Yeah.
No, it's
No,
actually going to go back
The
to
new one
like,
was announced. It's going back to the BF3, BF4 era.
yeah.
Yeah,
so it's-
yeah. I don't know.
Supposedly it's gonna be like PMC versus US or some shit like that.
I feel
Midcash
like
and-
it's going to be.
Midcash and I
What the
joined
fuck
some
happened to
fucking arm.
Midcash? Where the hell is he?
He's got some personal stuff and things going on, but him and I joined a Arma Reforged one.
I thought about joining Arma, but I just don't know what to do at that point because I just haven't sat down and like worked with it enough.
There's some people in there that I don't like, but I'm only there. I only show up if Midcash or my other buddies there.
Well, I mean, you can always
Well,
create your
fucking-
own.
I don't have
Yeah.
time to do that shit anymore.
You could just create your own.
I don't have time.
Okay, well, so time is time, but I got you. Anyway, so for those out there, Faticus, I'm trying to kill you right now.
Not
So,
yet.
I mean, tomorrow's a different story, but right now I'm not trying to kill you. Don't be a dickhead. Your fat ass comes to me sideways. I may or may not try to, fly to Dallas. Anyway, so yeah. Yeah.
You ready to call it?
I'll totally call at this point. So for those, like I said, the moral of the story is just don't be a dickhead, don't lie, don't be a fucking embellisher, and don't be a
Tim.
civilian. So don't be a civilian dickhead.
Don't be a douche
right.
and you're probably gonna end up being fine.
All right. And with that, we call it a day.